SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same. SVP, we're family. We're gonna make it fall in love. SVP. Download the SVP app today on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why? We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP TV.
Welcome to Couch Convo with Coach Karla. Of course, I'm Coach Karla. This is where we give you life tips, tools, and solutions to help make life better for you. I am joined by a special guest, Miss Tamika Allen. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
And so I wanted to invite her because we are going to be talking about relationships tonight, and she is a certified professional life coach specializing in relationships. She obtained her certification through the Tony Gaskins Academy in 2019, and she states that her background and gift as a professional cosmetologist for over 23 years allowed her the space to birth her calling in the line of coaching. And we're just so honored to have her here on tonight. I was posting on social media. Of course, yesterday was Valentine's Day. And so for a lot of people, it wasn't, people can get a little sad, a little depressed when they don't have someone. But one of the questions that I have, even as a single woman myself, is why can't we singles get together? Where is the love? And so I wanted to bring in a relationship coach to help us talk about that. And, I wanted to mention that I was listening to The Breakfast Club, which is one of the morning shows that comes on the radio. And Charlemagne was saying that it's the singles' fault. But of course, Charlemagne is married, and he's been married for a while. And I don't know when the last time was that he was single. But what he was trying to say, basically, if I put it in nicer terms, is that we definitely need some character development. And I can go along with that. But I think that there are other extenuating circumstances and issues that are hindering singles from getting together. And so we're going to talk about some of that on tonight. One of the hindrances that I had a chance to mention do you want me to call you Coach Tamika Allen? How do you want me to refer to you?
You can call me Tamika, it's fine.
Okay, so one of the things I mentioned to Tamika is that Psychology Today actually did an article where they were stating that as it relates to dating, men don't know how to communicate. And so this was actually published in the last couple of years. What are your thoughts on that?
I can agree with Charlemagne about the character development, but we also have to have some type of self-awareness in order to, conjoin together with each other.
Yeah.
And also, one particular thing that really stands out is if you enter into a relationship or come into contact with someone that you're interested in, and they have this I don't need you mindset, that's when you're going to start having the problems. Because see, if a person sees that they don't need you, they're not going to work as hard to keep you. It's easier for them to let you go versus if they need you, they'll work on whatever it is they need to work on in order to keep you.
Okay. So if the person so one of the people feels like the other person doesn't need them?
When they come into a relationship or a situation, or if they are interested in dating that person, if they have that I don't need you mindset, then that makes it much more harder to sustain a relationship. Because if a person feels like they don't need you, I got my own money, I got this, I don't need you, I ain't got to put up with this. So that it's easier for them to walk out the door. Versus if they didn't have that I need you mindset, they're willing to work on whatever it is they need to work on in order to keep that relationship healthy and to keep it going.
Yeah. And I would say that if we desire a relationship, we need at least companionship,
Right.
and then physical touch, affection, somebody to communicate with on a regular basis instead of the walls and cat and the dog at home. So I mean, if we're and I do know that some singles don't desire to be in a relationship, and I feel like I understand that as well. But people in general need relationship, companionship through some way. So hopefully, when we enter into relationships, before we enter, we understand that we're doing it because we do have a need that we want to meet, and we want to be there for each other.
Now, that's absolutely true about that. You need the affection, you need the companionship, you need the touch. That's when the guys come in with I want the relationship benefits, but not the relationship title.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, guys are creatures of convenience. Women are creatures of emotions. So whatever's convenient for them, disclaimer, not all guys, but some guys, most guys that I know, they are creatures of convenience. And if they can get the relationship benefits without having the relationship title, that's what they're going to settle for. And see, it comes in, the woman, we're in our own way because we are assuming that we're in this relationship with this guy, but the guy has never said that. Y'all have never had that conversation. So she's assuming that they're in a relationship, and then in the end, when her feelings are hurt, it's her own fault. She's in her own way because you should have established those boundaries in the beginning.
Okay.
See, when you're in a relationship, the first thing you need to do if you are really interested in that person, y'all need to establish boundaries. Because if you don't, everything else is going to go out the table, and they're going to think it's just going to flow the way it is. So when they want the relationship benefits without the relationship title, it's because they didn't set boundaries.
Okay. And so, as I work with clients, if I had told a client that, I know they probably would say back to me, well, Miss Lewis, I tried to talk to him about that, but he really wouldn't open up about it. What do we say to that?
Rephrase that again.
Like, okay, if I would have said that to a client, the client would say to me, Miss Lewis, I tried to talk to him about, what it is that we're doing. And a lot of times, women report to me that when they try to talk to a guy about what type of relationship this is, the man runs because they don't want to put a title on it.
And that too is because men like to be in control. Anything that's out of their control, it's not going to fit in their circle, in their bubble. So it's kind of like men, if they are in control, it's feeding their ego. Disclaimer once again, it's not all men. But if a man feels like they're needed, their ego is heightened a little bit more. So it's basically feeding your ego. Just say, for instance, a guy and a girl are together, and the female, all of a sudden her car's not working.
Okay.
The guy will take the car from her, even though they are into it. He will take the car from her just so she can have some type of communication to him, some type of connect. He wants her to feel like she needs him. Now, when a woman feels like, a man feels like a woman don't need them, they get upset.
Okay.
So it's like I need, this to be, you need to need me type of thing. So.
And I can see why that creates issues because these days a lot of women are more independent. And when I say that, they do have a job, they have a place to stay, and a lot of us have to do that out of necessity. I mean, things just are really different than they were even 30 years ago. So I guess the question becomes, how can we make sure that the man feels needed? What are there any type of adjustments that single women can make so that the man feels needed?
Not to go into the relationship with the I don't need you mentality. If y'all are somewhere together, you may want to say, hey, would you mind fixing this for me? You know, don't go and fix it yourself because he's going to feel like you don't need it. It's little things that makes a big difference in those type of situations.
Well, let me say this. I got plenty of stuff that I need a man to fix. I don't have no problem. I don't have any problem with being vulnerable and saying I need you. I need him to bring the trash in. I need him to tote them groceries. So I got some needs, okay?
See, that's where the boundaries come in the beginning. Once y'all start to get serious, you need to let him know, hey, this is what I expect out of this relationship, and he needs to do the same on his part. And then, see, some women put up with a lot of things because they don't feel like relearning a person.
Oh.
You know, that takes a lot of time. So they'll rather be, you know, by themselves, or they'd rather put up with whatever he has going on just so, you know, they can stay with him because they don't feel like learning anybody else.
Wow. Wow. That's kind of deep right there, because I would much rather move on and not keep wasting my time with this person than to be with somebody that I know. No.
Now, some women are like that too with the, I want you to need me. You know, we have some women like that too with men. Like if a man has multiple women, this woman may possess this certain attribute that he desires, and she knows this, and by him not communicating with her, she'll be like, hey, if you don't call me today, I'm not going to get you this. I'm not going to buy you this.
Oh, God.
So
Okay.
she does things like that to keep him over here with her, even though he's still pulling away. So women can have that I need you mentality as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you were talking, it made me think about people wanting, well, I think one of the hindrances that we have as singles is that we live in a microwave society. And when I say that, I mean that people want the relationship to start off from the very beginning as though we've been knowing each other for 3 months. I mean, and that's been my experience, as well as clients' experience and friends' experience. I mean, that it just seems like the person that we're trying to date wants too much from the very in a short period of time.
Well, in that case, from observation, the person, that party could have something that they're hiding. And they want to go ahead and rush you into this relationship, so because they know you're going to eventually find out something that they don't want you to know. So they're going to rush the situation. So like 6 months down the line, you're going to start hearing this, you're going to find out this, you're going to find out that, and then you're going to be like, hey, I should have never let it got this far. That's why they normally rush into it, because it's something that they don't want you to know about them.
So I'm going to go into it a little bit further. So when you say they rush it, are we talking about they rush intimacy, they do love bombing, try to get, you know, the other person just really invested in them so that that person won't be as likely to leave?
That's what they do. They do things in the beginning to win you over. That's the winning over process, as I would call it. Go ahead and shower you, open your door for you, run your bath water, surprise you every day with gifts. This in the first 3 months.
Okay.
6 months come by, you waiting on him to open your door. You hadn't got a surprise at work yet. You know, you hadn't got a nice little text message that you normally get in the first 3 months. So,
Yeah.
like,
So now that person isn't keeping up that same behavior.
and then the person that they're looking for it from is treating them like, hey, I ain't got to do this. You know, I don't need you. What am I doing this for? You know, but you was doing it in the beginning.
Right.
Because that's because they wanted you in the beginning, because they knew you was going to find out something. So they go ahead and swing you in, blind you, and all of that.
Okay. Well, what are some of the things then that people might be hiding from us then?
Oh, maybe things like they're controlling.
Oh.
A lot of people don't want you to know that they're controlling. They're in denial about being controlling. Overly aggressive. No self-awareness. It's a whole list of things.
They could be hiding anger, right? Anger issues.
Rage, you know, all of that. But in the beginning, they're this nice person, but on the flip side, they're angry, they're abusive, they're mental abusers, emotional abusers. You know, most people don't physically hit you anymore. They mentally abuse you now, and emotionally abuse you. That's worse than a physical hit.
Okay. I was thinking about, well, the first thing that came to my mind in terms of something that they might be hiding, and this happens a lot in dating. A lot of times they're hiding a spouse or someone else that they're dating, and you know that ends up being an issue as we're dating other people as well.
Yeah, the dating other people, but you know somebody's gonna eventually find out if somebody's married or not.
Yeah.
But the dating other people, that's on the table as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't want you around certain individuals. They don't want you out in certain areas because you may run into somebody that knows that person, that knows you're dating this person, and you may find out from that person or something like that.
And you know, one of the red flags for that too is if that person never ever wants to go out with you in public, that's a red flag. That's a red flag as far as they might be hiding you from other people or the person that they're dating. So that's something to look out for, because at some point the person should want to be out in public with you, or take you out on a date, you know. And how do you feel about, I don't know if this is something that you answer or not, but how do you feel about dating and who's supposed to pay for the date? Do you get into those types of things?
Now, to me, I don't, it's not a gender role for me. You know, if I want to pay today, fine. If you want to pay today, it's fine. It's not a gender role for me. That's just me, you know. But some people are into trends. I'm not a trendy person. So some people are into trends. They want to say, hey, he bought this, he paid for this. Now, it is what it is, you know, because if y'all are both in a genuine relationship, it doesn't matter who paid for what.
Okay, but in the very beginning, though, and let's say the man asked the woman out. Do you feel like the man is supposed to pay for the date in that particular instance?
I mean, if he asks her out, he should pay for it.
Okay.
You know, he should.
Well, I've seen instances where they don't. They ask you out, and then he's standing there waiting on her to pay for both people.
That's a red flag. If you pay for it on that first date, then that's what he's going to expect from that moment on. When y'all go on the next date, he's not paying either.
Yeah.
Don't expect a gift. Don't expect no surprises at your job, because you've already shown him that, hey, I'm going to pay for this, so you don't have to foot the bill. And I have clients like that as well. So if that's what you start off doing, you're going to have to continue it. If not, he's going to go over there and get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so one of the things that I feel like I've noticed is that, well, I think this is a hindrance as far as keeping singles from coming together. I think a lot of times people look at a person and they judge the book by the cover. They know where the person maybe grew up, what they drive, what neighborhood they live in, and then they make certain assumptions about the person from there. And they project those assumptions onto that person as opposed to actually getting to know that person. Is that something that you've seen a lot?
I have seen that. I have clients that did exactly what you said, and in the end, they chose the person that they judged. You know, that book, they chose that person versus this person, because 9 times out of 10, just because you don't want to be over here does not mean that this is not what you need. Most of the time, what you need is what you don't want.
Okay.
And so when you want the flashy, you want the, all the glitz and glam, that's not what you want. That's not what you need. I mean, you want it, but that's not what you need. You need this over here. And, sooner or later, after so many time go past, you're going to soon realize that what you don't want is really what you need. Now I have a client like that. Now they're engaged. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you say when you say we want the flashy, are you talking about we want the good-looking person?
Yeah, the nice guy driving a nice car, the guy that's dressed all up, always clean, But this guy over here, he probably don't dress up every day. He can clean up well though, but because he's not dressed up today, you're judging him. But he has all the attributes that you need. So one day you may see him and he's gonna be cleaned all up, and you're gonna be like, dang,
You didn't know he could
late.
do it like that.
Right.
Right. Okay. All right. And that's really having an open mind, and try something new. I mean, if you've never dated this type of guy, I would say try something new. I mean, because we really, as we're dating, we're really supposed to be doing some self-exploration to see what we like, you know,
Right.
and things like that. So, and that will help us choose a better, make a better choice when we choose our partner.
Right, and even in that instance, you have people that's been married 10 years, but each day they're still learning something about each other. So
Yep.
there's no expiration date on learning. My theory is you learning something new from your partner every day, regardless if you pay attention to it or not. You are.
Yeah, and that made me think about one of the things that I've heard some men say is that, hey, I had to learn how to cater to or be with my wife, these different versions of my wife, because we continue to change and develop over time. So the person that you met in your 20s, if y'all are 40 something now, I mean, she's changed.
Right. Change every day. You can't stay the same. I'm big on change as long as it's in a positive way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really big on that as well.
Okay. Now, one thing that I've heard men say is that women can be off-putting or, really unattractive because we're so independent and we can take care of ourselves. And then Miley Cyrus, she won Song of the Year, Record of the Year, something like that. But I like the song. The song say, I can buy my own flowers. And so do you see that men are intimidated by independent women, and what I should say is women who are financially independent?
Yeah, that is a case. There's a celebrity, So Chanel. I don't know if you watch her or not, but her husband said that about his relationship. It was an interview he did. I saw it a couple of months ago, and he was saying that he didn't know that he would feel that way because she's at this stardom fame stage, and he didn't know that he would feel that way about her being there in that, you know, in this time. But that it's possible, and because men like to be needed. If they feel like they're not needed, then it does something to their ego. You know, and women are the same way in some instances as well.
Well, let me ask you this: do you feel like that's something? Okay. Let me make sure I set the table. Women have become more financially independent to me because we've had to, because we haven't necessarily been able to depend on men. So don't you think, or do you think that men need to work on being more accepting of women being financially independent? Like work on their, letting their ego go some.
I think a lot of men needs a lot of self-awareness.
Okay.
A lot of them don't want to change. A lot of them don't want to accept certain things. But the world evolves every day, every second, every minute, and they need to know that they have to too. As long as it's benefiting you and him, you cannot stay the same and expect a relationship to flourish. Yeah.
Okay. The young lady that you mentioned, you said what's her name?
So Chanel. Her name is Chanel Walker.
Okay, So Chanel. Now, was her husband saying, did her husband feel intimidated? What kind of feelings was he expressing about her success?
Disclaimer, now I don't know verbatim, word for word what he said, but what I got from the little snippet that I saw, he was saying that he was intimidated. He didn't say I'm intimidated, but he was expressing that he was intimidated by the way that she has grown into the person that she is. You know, she's making a lot of money. You know, she's at star status, and he's like, he didn't just think that she would be the person that's, you know, the breadwinner, the person that's taking over everything. You know, I mean, not taking over everything, just, you know, taking care of everything. because he felt like he should be the person doing that because he's the man.
Okay, well.
Now, don't quote me on that. That's
I
just
got
what
you.
I got from his snippet now.
I got you. But I think that men are going to have to spend more time working on their insecurities so that they can be a good partner in a relationship, because for the most part, women are not going to stop making money just to appease a man, because we really can't. If we don't know where we stand in a relationship, or if we're not in a relationship when we start off in entrepreneurship, I mean, that's something that we really can't know what's going to be going on with the person that we're dating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They need to pay more attention to their woman.
Okay.
You know, because a woman is telling you what she needs, but they're so into themselves, so unaware of things that they're not really paying attention to what the woman is saying. And then if the lady keeps saying it over and over, they say we're nagging. But in reality, we're really just trying to tell you what we want so you won't have to go over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. So we can have a good relationship.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna get ready. We're gonna get ready to go into a commercial break. Thank you all so much for joining us for Couch Convo with Coach Karla, and we'll be right back.
Ladies, do you feel feminine during your feminine flow? You know, your monthly cycle, your period? Are you still suffering in silence? The suffering is over. It's time to choose Rain. Rain is an all-natural, premium sanitary napkin with 8 layers of cotton, high-grade polymers, graphene to help cut bacteria by 99.9%. Ladies, let's protect the most precious jewel in the world, you.
Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins do not make any medically backed claims or personal recommendations of any kind. For more information, contact Marilyn McGee. Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes! Spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
You're talking about a good time, we all come on now.
Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe tapping, hand clapping, down home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast. Download the SVP TV app now on your smart television and mobile device. Center Stage Gospel season premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. Tune in to Talking Law with attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question? Our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome back. Again, tonight we are joined with Tomika Allen. She is a certified relationship coach, and we are talking about relationships, where's the love, and why can't singles get together these days? There seem to be a lot of challenges that are keeping us from coming together. I wanted to ask Tomika also, how do you feel social media is affecting our relationships, or do you feel like social media is affecting our relationships, like Facebook, Instagram, those types of things?
Social media is a different type of animal, and it's drawing in all of these vulnerable people that really don't have a backbone, as I would say. Social media paints a picture of a perfect thing that's in most times are not the case, because all everybody see is the outside, the glimmer and glam.
Right.
They don't see the tears and frustration behind all of that. Somebody can just post a picture 3.2 seconds ago, happy, in love. Soon as they log off Facebook,
Something totally
they're
different.
fighting. But they want to keep up this image like it's just, life is so perfect, relationships are perfect. Relationships are not perfect. It's
Right.
what you make out of the relationship that makes things perfect. But social media, it has created this facade, and it's ruining people, because a lot of people are thinking that this is really how it's supposed to be. This is really how it looks. They don't put out the things that's seen behind the curtain.
Right.
They only, post things that's pretty,
Pretty.
which
Yeah.
is not always the case.
Yeah. Yeah, relationships take a lot of work. It's not, now, I talk about the way that romance has been portrayed in the movies. And of course, a movie might be 60 minutes, 90 minutes, so it's not going to be realistic. They
Right.
have to put so much into a short period of time, so it's not going to be like real life. But what I can say is there are some couples out there who do put out real, honest, raw content. They're few and in between, but I know
Right.
Tabitha Brown is one. She does like a show with her husband Chance.
Okay.
I think they do it on Fridays.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, but it's she's, I follow Tabitha. I'm in love with Tabitha Brown.
So I rarely ever watch TV, so
No, it's on YouTube.
I hardly ever go there either.
It's okay. But she's just very honest, and she talks about, but what I really hear from her though is communication is important. And I've run into things where I'm in a relationship, and for one thing, men do not, and this has been my experience, and not just my experience, but even when I'm working with female versus male clients, men are less verbal. And so, how has that been a challenge how does that present a challenge as you've worked with couples?
Well, a lot of people say communication is key. My theory is understanding is key, because you have to have some type of understanding in order for you to communicate.
Yeah.
Because communication could mean screaming, hollering, throwing something at the wall. That could be what communication looks like to someone else.
Oh.
But once you establish that ground of understanding, then we can have
Yeah.
some type of communication. That way you'll know what I desire out of a conversation, your tone and all of that. So
Okay.
understanding is the thing that's going to determine if your communication is going to be logic or not.
Yeah. And so what I heard you saying was expectations. Like I expect to be talked to in a respectful way. I expect for you not to call me names, some things that we feel like we shouldn't have to tell people. But
Right.
as you were saying, we really don't know how a person grew up or how they communicated with their family members. And that really dictates a lot in terms of how a person communicates.
The way a person treats you is basically a reflection of how they grew up and how they were treated, but they're displaying it on you.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, if a person is always hollering, if they're always trying to be in control, somebody was controlling them when they was
Wow.
growing up.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
was hollering at them all the time when they were growing up. So most of the time, if whatever that person is doing to you is a reflection of what was done to them growing up.
And that's, that's a lot to consider. Sometimes I wonder, and this is a tough question, I don't even want to ask it no more.
And see, all of what we just talked about is in the getting to know stage in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to establish all of that, so we know what we're getting ourselves into, and that way we can determine if we want to continue down that road or not.
Are we? Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Are we wasting our time? I hate to say this, but this is a real question. Are we wasting our time if we know the person we're dating was in a highly dysfunctional family, and they were abused. They were physically and verbally abused. I mean, are we gonna be able to have a good relationship?
Now, sometimes situations like that, it may take someone to accept them and bring them in, and at the same time, you guys have to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you discover that that is going on, or that is how that person was raised, you can also give him an option or suggestion as to, hey, you want to go seek counseling. I know this person, she does really well, he does really well with these type of cases, and I think you will benefit from this.
Yeah.
And if he refused, then you know you're wasting your time.
Wow.
Or if she refuses, you know you're still wasting your time.
Yeah, because we all have to be willing to work on ourselves.
Yeah, and sometimes counseling, they will be willing to go, and that is the thing that they need to help them. And they do get, they do change. It does help them in your relationship.
Yeah.
And you may just be that person, but if they are headstrong and adamant about not going, then you're wasting your time.
Okay. Now this question right here is really important. I'm talking about singles being really challenged as far as coming together and being in healthy relationships. Why is this issue important to our society, or why is it important for us to have healthy relationships?
Healthy relationships, you live a healthy life.
Yeah.
Dysfunctional relationship, your life is going to be in chaos. Your blood pressure is going to run up.
Yeah.
Your cholesterol is going to be high. You're going to have headaches. You're going to be under a lot of stress. You can't operate at work. You can't do any things with your kids in peace because you're under this stress from, in that type of situation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And also, statistics are out there that suggest that when we have neighborhoods that have couples, people who are in relationships, those neighborhoods tend to have less crime and tend to be more stable. And there also tends to be less poverty. So they actually do have some statistics out there that suggest that. And so, I mean, what I'm saying is, and my hope, I've seen a lot of people who've given up on dating. And they've given up on dating for various reasons. Bad experiences, or they may be divorced and just don't want to go through it anymore, or they may be afraid of getting hurt. But my thing is heal from that, so that you can experience a good relationship.
Right.
And be able to experience the fullness of life, because most of us are meant to be with somebody,
Yeah, you got to heal in order to live. But see, a lot of people get out of one relationship and go right into another relationship and wonder why things are not the way they should be, because you didn't give yourself time to heal.
Right.
So you got to heal in order to live.
Yeah. And when we don't give ourselves a chance to heal, we can find ourselves projecting those negative experiences we had with that person onto the next one.
Else. That's right.
And the next person don't even know what you're talking about.
That's it.
And so that's not good.
That's so true.
Well, we also we had but before I do that, is there anything else that you want to share with us about relationships?
No, the only thing I would say is you have to have some grounds of understanding in order to have proper communication. And in the beginning of each relationship, whether it's relationship or dating phase or not, we need to set boundaries, because that's where your foundation lies, in those boundaries.
Okay.
And then that way you can get to know what you're dealing with and whether you want to pursue with the relationship or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted us to talk a little bit about this hoopla surrounding the Super Bowl. Now I'm just gonna tell you, up front right now that I loved Usher's halftime performance. But now, did you see? Did you see
saw
it?
the entire
Okay.
performance. I
Okay.
did.
All right. Good. So there's a lot of controversy out there. I put a question on Facebook. My question was, how did y'all feel about Usher's halftime performance? And when I put the question out there, what I thought was going to happen is that people were just going to talk about the things that they liked. And that is not what happened. Some people shared that they didn't think it was all that. And the most shocking one, a lady shared that Usher looked like he was out of practice. And I was like,
Really?
out of practice? Wait a minute, lady,
That's
hold
far
on.
from that.
Yeah. I mean, he's not in his 20s anymore. However, he was moving.
I was going to say he did a darn good job.
Yeah.
To be his age, it didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, I mean, he roller skated, and I didn't realize that the stage was rotating as they were skating. I mean, now another thing that I honestly want to say is the TV that I watched it on, and maybe it was even the TV station because people watch it on different stations.
Yeah.
It didn't bring in the sound of the band. I didn't get a lot of the different angles that other people got, but I still was impressed. But I think that people actually saw different shows based on what channel they watched,
that's true.
Which makes a big difference because when I went back and watched it, then I saw the poses that all of the artists were in right before the show began.
Yeah.
I saw them Kappas jump straight up off that ground onto that stage.
What about the Sonic Boom of the
Oh.
South, J-State Band?
Okay. Ma'am, and they all had on rich, fresh suits. Do you hear me? But they was moving on.
Yes, indeed.
They spelled Usher out on the. Okay, and look. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Usher shot somebody out of a cannon. We saw people on stilts. It was like we were at a circus / hip hop. I mean, he had a really good mix of bringing different artists in. And I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say this. Now, I'm a singer. I'm a performer.
Okay.
And it was only 15 minutes. Look, that was the best anybody could do with 15 minutes of time. He squeezed everything out of
I
it.
was saying to myself, I don't know how he got all of this in 15 minutes.
I mean,
It was awesome. It was awesome.
The songs that he touched on, I mean, I can't, like if somebody would have said, Karla, he's going to bring in 5 to 8 special guests during his 15-minute performance, I would say, girl, you lying.
Right.
You lying.
The
Cause
only thing I was disappointed about was he didn't sing Glue. That was it. If he had a song, Glue, that would have just stopped the whole show.
And I've heard other people say that too because everybody has like their favorite Usher song. One of my favorites is Let It Burn. Was Let It Burn in there? I don't remember.
It was, but see, Glue is a recent song. It's a more recent song.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I'm through with the criticism that people have about Alicia Keys and Usher.
Please stop. Please let that rest. Because Alicia looked good.
Gorgeous.
She was like killing it,
Yeah. And as long as her husband didn't have a problem with it, who cares?
I mean, like she was fully clothed. Like some people come out of there see everything. She looked good. She looked really
good.
Nice. She did.
And I want to say this: the note that she sang at the very beginning, she probably couldn't hear.
Okay.
And
mistakes happen.
Yeah, they do. And she could have been excited. And I'm gonna let it go.
See, that's the thing with people. They want people to be perfect. You cannot be perfect all the time. The thing is, if you make a mistake and you correct and recognize it and correct it, that says much more than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't understand. They think people are not human. Everybody is human, but they don't. The difference between her and them, they don't post their mistakes.
That's true. That's true. Now, the other controversy that's pretty big is people felt some type of way about Beyonce dropping new music the night of the Super Bowl. There was Beyonce had a Verizon commercial. The commercial was great. We actually had a chance to see Beyonce like in 4 or 5 different scenes and things that she did. I mean, Verizon spent a lot of money on that. And from if I'm remembering and getting this information correctly, I think she was paid $30 million for that commercial. So that's a lot of coin. And I guess I can see both sides of it when people say she could have waited, but it kind of sounds like it was a deal that she had with Verizon to do that. And then too, I mean, it was a perfect time. I bet you if you ask Usher, I bet you Usher doesn't feel like she upstaged him. I bet you that.
No, Usher, I doubt it. I doubt it. I didn't even pay that any attention about her dropping the song because I'm not into Beyonce. You know, no offense to people that saw her. I'm a Mary J. Hudson, Fantasia girl. Those are my girls. That old school church house voice. That's what I'm into. Okay. But I didn't even notice, honey.
Well, I'm a musician, so I'm a fan of a lot of different types of genres and music. Gotcha. And I am a Beyonce fan, but I'm also a fan of all of the singers that you just listed.
Gotcha.
People are saying, of course, now the 2 songs that she dropped are country songs. And so some people have an issue with that. Like, why is she doing country?
Yeah.
But she's Beyonce. She can do what she want to do. Now, I'm going to tell you, as a musician, I am very happy that she's doing that because she could have done anything.
Yeah.
I feel like it, first of all, is reclaiming country music for Black people because country music started with us. Go do your research. Country music started with us. Now, one of the things that has happened is certain groups of people have felt like country music only belonged to them. And then they shamed Black people who tried to enter into it and said, well, no, we don't want you here. No. Beyonce finna bust that. That's finna be bust wide open.
And a lot of people are gearing towards that country music anyway, because you got a lot of these social clubs now that's developing these groups, these, stepping groups or dance groups, and most of them are like from country music.
Yeah.
And so that maybe is what inspired her to do the country music, because that's what's going on now.
Yeah, and I mean, she grew up in Texas, so I'm sure that she was exposed to country music. Anybody who grew up on a farm or did farming, so Black people who grew up in the South during certain time periods were exposed to country music or sang country music. And in fact, country and blue and the blues are very closely related.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the comments that I really don't like is somebody said, who is Beyonce trying to be, or what is she trying to do? And I'm like, why she gotta be trying to be something?
She's not trying to be anybody.
I mean, and really, how can I say? The music industry and society forces vocalists to choose genres. But as a vocalist, when we I was a Fish Jubilee singer for 4 years, so I can sing Negro spirituals, classical, pop, R&B, you name it. Now, if you're a true professional, you have several genres that you can sing so that you can make your money and support yourself. And then also just having the appreciation of all of the different genres. Jazz. So we were never ever supposed to relegate artists to a certain thing. Just it made me think about Andre 3000. Some people were mad when he put out this instrumental album that he did, but he has evolved. He's not the same rapper or musician that he was 30 years ago. And we need to allow people to do that. And I'm gonna listen to, when she drop it, I think it's March the 25th, I'm gonna listen to all of that and really ready to sing it, child. What's the 16 Carriages? I love 16 Carriages. And I love Hold'em, Texas. I'm ready to sing Hold'em, Texas, child. Don't make me bust it. Don't make me bust it out. But I'm proud of her. It took courage for her to do that. And for all we know, I'm gonna put it out there like this. For all we know, she might have wanted to do country music when she first started.
Right.
You just don't. You don't ever know. The first song, even though I grew up in church and sung gospel, the first song that I ever wrote was a jazz song.
Wow.
And I used to go to the library and listen to a lot of old jazz. Samaya Joy is a young lady in her 20s. She put out a jazz album, and she got Artist of the Year last year.
Wow, awesome.
Now, the thing is I could have, now I'm not saying I could have been Samaya Joy, but what I'm saying is I could have sung jazz like that, but I didn't see it as an option. You know, so I think it's a beautiful thing that artists are now seeing that they can do different genres and that they don't have to stay relegated to different genres. But I also think the other thing that it's going to do is bring people together, people of different races, backgrounds, faiths, and we need that because we just got too much division going on.
Right. I think anybody that has a vision or desire to do anything, whether one person is doing it or not, go ahead and do it, because what you have, somebody is looking for. You may not see it, but what you have, somebody is looking for.
Absolutely.
So don't ever stop, pursuing whatever it is that you desire, whatever's in your heart, because, like I said, somebody needs it.
And don't start talking about us because we break out our country hats, because I had a country hat before Beyonce ever put one on.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of social groups now that has developed with that, with the country thing now, that it's a trend now.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a trend.
Well, and I mean, probably about 20 years ago, people started doing that, like you're saying, and I'm trying to think of the name of that particular dance and can't remember. Do-si-do, hold down. There's a lot of different terms out there, but I've seen a couple of sisters have put out a video where they're dancing to Beyonce's song and they have on their cowboy hats.
See, that may be why she did it too, because like I said, a lot of those groups are developing and they make a dance from her music or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of reasons that
Yeah.
she could have done that, but
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what's next. And she probably even thinks about her children, and opening up the world for her children, and not wanting her children to ever feel like they have to be limited or relegated to a certain thing, and they can dream as big as they want to dream.
That's a great observation.
Yeah. So how can people find you, reach out to you for relationship coaching and your coaching services?
I'm on Facebook, all in Mrs. Tamika or Tamika Allen. My website should be attached to that Facebook profile. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter sometimes. But if you Google me, my information is all on the Google site as well. But the quickest way to reach me is if you want to reach me instantly, you can go to Facebook and all of my information will be there in my bio.
And she is located in she has an office in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And when she says all in, that's ALLEN, all in life coaching. And I just caught on to that being the spelling of your last name. I didn't catch on to that until
correct.
now. Yeah, so you all can reach out that way. Thank you so much for joining us. I have really enjoyed talking to you and having you on the show.
It was a pleasure being here, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And so you all, please also look out for Bluff City Magazine. I'm on the cover for February, March.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Those magazines should be out at the locations next week, so look for that and shoot me an email. Let me know what you think of it.
Awesome.
Thank you again for joining us, Couch Convo with Coach Karla. Good night.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes, spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
SVP, SVP, we're family for all your needs. SVP, SVP, we're family. We're gonna rip you for the love of SVP. We're gonna rip you for the love of SVP TV. SVP, SVP TV.
Looking for something new? We thought so. SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same.
SVP